All right, now we go on to speaking module and we are going to discuss IELTS speaking, and I'll tell you what is it that examiner wants to see in your speaking. There are parts of speaking and all that. Remember, your IELTS speaking test is an interview. It's a face-to-face interview, whether it can be with a physical examiner or it can be with a virtual examiner. If virtual examiner, there will be a laptop or a desktop in front of you. You will wear that headgear and you will have to talk to the examiner and answer the questions. If it is physical, there'll be a physical examiner and your speaking test will go on, right? Your speaking test can be conducted before or after your listening, reading, writing. And if you appear in computer delivered IELTS, then your speaking test will be conducted the same day. It can be before listening, reading, writing or after. Sometimes there's a gap of 2 to 3 hours so that you can go and eat some burger or pizza and then you can come back, okay? So speaking test is very important. It has got 3 levels. I mean, they check your English at 3 different levels. The first level is basic. The second level is intermediate and the third level is advanced. They just see your ability to communicate in English and then they give you bench score. They give you bench score in each parts, like part 1, part 2, part 3, and then they give you average bench score, which is your overall speaking band, right? So in IELTS speaking, we have part 1, which is called basic or introduction. In this part, examiner will ask you 5 to 10 questions on familiar topics. Nothing will be new. There is no general knowledge in IELTS. Okay, they will ask you questions on familiar topics like what's your favorite food? What's your favorite color? Do you like your hometown? Right? They will ask you questions about your family and all that. So you will be familiar with all these things, but sometimes what they think is familiar for you is unfamiliar. So that is why we have this book, and in this book we have 200 topics for speaking part 1, and examiner will give you 1 or 2 topics from these 100 topics. There are questions with answers, okay? Now remember, whenever they have your IELTS speaking test, examiner will use 5 tenses only. First and foremost, it is present simple tense. We call it present indefinite, where they will use do or does. Okay, and you should know all the question words. I'll come to that. Second tense is past simple. Third tense is future simple or future indefinite. For past indefinite, they will say did you. For future, will you. So do you, did you, will you. These are 3 important tenses. Then we have fourth tense, which is present perfect. For example, have you been to any restaurant recently? Have you eaten Chinese food recently? Have you learned any foreign language recently? Have you been to any park or garden recently? That is present perfect. Now remember, and the final tense is present perfect continuous tense. How long have you been? How long have you been learning English? How long have you been living in this city? How long have you been? This is present perfect continuous. And these 5 tenses are important. Now, the important thing is if the question is in present tense, your answer should be in present tense. Past tense, past, future tense, future. Now, present perfect, very important. If examiner asks you a question in present perfect tense, first sentence will be in present perfect. After that, you will use past tense. For example, have you watched any movie in the cinema recently? Yes, I have watched an English movie in the cinema very recently. In fact, I went to watch this movie last week and I enjoyed a lot with my friends and we had a great time, something like that. So when you describe the experience, for that you will use past tense, okay? Finally, present perfect continuous tense, you need to learn it. They will ask you one question of present perfect continuous to check your ability whether you know this tense or not. And if you know the tense, you answer, examiner will say, okay, this candidate is for the next level. For example, they ask you a question, how long have you been learning English? I am learning English for 12 months. Wrong. I have been learning English for 5 years, or I have been learning English since 2014. You should know the proper use of since and for and then use it. Okay. Now, after this, most important thing is WH questions. You should know them. And if you know WH questions, examiner will start the question and you will understand. For example, if examiner says, where do you often go when you have free time? Where? It means place, right? When do you usually have your lunch? When means time. Okay? Who do you spend time with? Person. Okay? Why do people go to foreign country? Reasons. So if you know WH questions, how long? Duration. How often? Frequency. For example, how often do you brush your teeth? Once or twice a year. For example, okay? So how often means frequency. How often do you go out? Every weekend. How often do you meet your friends? Very regularly, something like that, okay? So these are the WH questions that you should know. And when examiner is going to use a WH question, and then do you, did you, will you, have you been, and ing form, you can easily understand the tense, and it is quite simple and easy for you to answer. Whenever you give any answer, just see examiner will look at 4 parts of your answer. For example, you're going somewhere, and I tell you they will look at your hairstyle. You'll make good hair. Then I say they will look at your ears. You'll make your ears fine, okay? And then I say they will look at your nose from the outside only, don't worry. So you will make your nose look better and all that, because you know they will look at my hair, my ear, my nose and all that. Like this, there are 4 parts of your speaking, and examiner is going to observe them or observe those. First of all, it is your fluency, that you speak without a break. Right? Sometimes some people speak English very fluently and they speak wrong English. Still they get good band score. I had a student who got 7 band in speaking. And I told him one thing. I told him you speak very fluently, because he was from KPK. His pronunciation was very good. He was speaking like English people, right? But grammatically his English was not that good, right? But still he got 7 band in speaking. Why 7 in speaking? He got good band in pronunciation, good band in fluency, good band in vocabulary, and in grammar he got low band, but overall he achieved 7 band, right? So the first thing is fluency. Fluency means you speak English without breaks. You don't say like that, okay? And then you don't repeat yourself. Like, sometimes I like to watch movies, and then sometimes something like that. So it does not mean you need to speak fast. You just need to speak, and what do you say? You need to maintain a good rhythm, that you speak without pauses, without breaks. And one thing you speak word by word. Second, you speak sentence by sentence, word by word. I want to drink a glass of water because I am feeling thirsty at the moment. Word by word, sentence by sentence. I want to drink a glass of water because I'm feeling thirsty at the moment. It is fluent English, okay? So don't worry, don't be fast, don't be slow. Follow your natural pace, but don't use any don't repeat yourself and all that. Second important point is your pronunciation. They will not check your accent. They will check your pronunciation. Okay? Now, for example, if you say doctor. Now, doctor is commonly said by people like those who are from Arab origin. They cannot pronounce D sound. Okay, they say, doctor, I want to tell you something important. If you stop and listen to me first, it would be better for you. Okay, with this English, if it is good, it is understandable, they can get 8 band, 8.5 band, no problem. Okay, so accent is something they don't judge. They don't check your English on accent, they check your English on pronunciation. If somebody says, doctor, I want to tell you something important. It's clear. You can understand whatever somebody is saying. You can get good bench score, right? So pronunciation is important and you have to improve it. And the best way to improve your pronunciation is IELTS listening. The way they speak there, okay, right? You will find many characters there. So just try to copy them, listen to them carefully. And whenever you're practicing IELTS listening, use hands-free, headphones and all that. And volume where you are comfortable, one level above. For example, you are comfortable at volume 10, make it 11 or 12. So that this English should go in your head and then you will speak like that. After that, the third criteria is grammar. And I've already told you, you need to use these 5 tenses. Now, along with that, you can use a variety of sentence structures. Simple, compound, complex. These sentences will bring you better bench score, okay? This is all about grammar. And don't repeat any structure. It's a very good thing. It's very important for all of us. It is also good. It is also fine. It is this, it is that. Don't repeat one structure several times in one answer. Okay, you can use it second time in the next answer and all that. Don't repeat same ideas. Okay. Finally, the last thing is vocabulary. Whenever examiner asks you a question, examiner gives you a topic basically. If I say, what's your favorite color? Now, what's the topic? Color. So you need to know a lot of words, not a lot of words, at least 4 or 5 words, which are related to color and favorite. What's your favorite color? Well, I like. For favorite, the word is I like. What's your favorite color? I like bright colors very much. Bright is another word. What's your favorite color? My favorite color? My favorite color is red. I like it very much. That is why it is my favorite color. It is my uncle's favorite color also. He also likes this color. That is why my favorite color is red. See that? Repetition. Sometimes students, they copy question vocabulary and they use it again and again. Same answer as I have already told you. You know what does it mean as I have already told you? It means ask me a different question. I've already answered that. So you need to give different ideas, okay? Every time when you are, because you know they are going to ask you 5 to 6 questions in a sequence. And all the questions are going to be on the same topic. So you might think that this question they have asked me already. You may say on a couple of occasions, as I've already told you, but then give a different answer so that you use different vocabulary. So for vocabulary, you will never get good bench score on high 5 vocabulary. You will get good bench score if you use a variety of words which are relevant. Now, if you add any irrelevant word, like you learned a word somewhere and the word is classic word and you want to put it there, don't do that. Such type of words will decrease your bench score. And on your speaking test day, be confident, look into the eyes of examiner. There is no marking criteria for body language. There is no marking criteria for accent, right? No marking criteria for dressing. Dress nicely, whatever you're comfortable with, and answer all the questions. Now, finally, I'll tell you how to answer the questions. For speaking part 1 and speaking part 3. In part 2, they will give you a topic and you will have to speak on that topic for 1 to 2 minutes. And we have 100 topics in this book. They are called cue cards. So there are almost 100 cue cards. In actual exam, you're going to get one of them, right? And in part 3, they will ask you follow-up questions, and these follow-up questions are also related to the cue card. Now, how to answer speaking part 1 and part 3 questions? Very simple. Number 1, answer the question directly. What's your favorite drink? Drink? Drinks are very important in life. If we do not drink, we die. Some people drink alcohol, not good. Today, I would like to tell you about my favorite drink. I am so happy that you have asked me this question. This question is very close to my heart and I'm going to answer your question. My favorite drink is water. Okay? So it's all irrelevant. So this will bring your bench score down, right? So what's your favorite drink? I love to drink orange juice. What's your favorite drink? I love to drink apple juice, right? Whatever it is, then you can go on. So step 1, direct answer. Don't just start from there I'm very happy you asked me this question. I'm glad to know that you want to know about my favorite drink, madam. Very good. I like you very much. Not like this, okay? Be extra careful with that stuff, right? So, whatever the question is, give a direct answer. Number one. Number two, elaborate your answer. Do not give blunt answer to the examiner. These answers irritate the examiner. What's your favorite drink? Water. What do you do in your free time? Sleep. And then you're looking at the examiner to ask you more. Okay? What do you do in your free time? Well, most of the time I'm busy. It's hard for me to find any spare time. But especially on the weekends, I prefer to sleep out. Because during the weekdays, I don't get enough sleep. So whenever I have time, I try to take a long nap. Sleep out, long nap. These words will give you very good band score. This is what examiner wants to see. Okay? So like this, direct answer, elaborate your answer, and conclude your answer. Right? So that is why whenever I am free, I prefer to go to sleep. Therefore, in my free time, I listen to music. For all these reasons, I find listening to music relaxing in my spare time. This is what we call conclusion of your answer. So in 5-6 sentences, you can answer the question. If your answer will be short, examiner will say, why not? And if your answer is long, examiner will say, okay, thanks. And there is no negative marking. A student of mine appeared in IELTS exam, and he sits in front of the examiner and he answers the question and examiner says, okay, thanks. Again, he answers, examiner says, okay, thanks. After 3-4 sentences, then he calls me and tells me the whole story. And then later on, I just told him after this whole event, I said, it will not affect your band score. Examiners know how to evaluate your English, and the guy got 6.5 band, which was good for him as per his spoken English. So if they don't allow you to talk too much, it means your answer is long, or it also means your answer is irrelevant. If you give an irrelevant answer, they don't allow you to talk more. So after 2-3 answers, you and examiner will be very, very comfortable. Then you can go on. Yes, one more thing. If you are panic stricken, like, sometimes you have a panic attack. You enter the room and, okay, you look at the examiner and say, me boo, not like that, okay? So then you can ask them, I need some time. You can say, well, my heart is pounding, I've got fast heartbeat, I need some time. They will give you time because they know speaking may cause heart attacks or anything like that. So if there is anything, sometimes their speaking examiner's room is upstairs on the first floor. So as you go like that, okay, already you are over alert. Don't be overly alert, right? And if you are out of breath, you need to drink some water, you can demand all these things. Even you can tell them that I will have my speaking test after 10 minutes. At the moment, I'm not feeling okay for that. They will ask you, are you ready? Right? They'll say, no, I'm not ready. Then they will say, okay, go out and all that. So if there is any medical condition or health condition, you can tell the examiner immediately and they may stop your test as well, right? Answer all the questions. Don't ask the examiner about your band score. They will never tell you. Instead, they will actually scold you. So you don't need to ask anything. Examiners are friendly. It does not mean they will go out for coffee with you. So don't leave your number over there. This is my number. WhatsApp on. 24 घंटे. Okay? So don't do that. Okay? They are just friendly with everybody. This is how they work actually, right? All right. Thank you.